Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Thursday, everybody. I hope your day and your week have been going very well so far. Got a new day, which of course means a new NBA player prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. We have day 3 of our March NBA player prop ladder challenge. And so far, so good. Look at the right side of the screen here are our results. Day 1, we had a 3-leg parlay plus 173 odds. We cashed that. What I like to do for my ladder challenges, I take that initial unit that we invested back, put that in my pocket, so now you're playing with house money and you break even. So whatever happens, you didn't lose anything really on this ladder challenge. So we reinvested the 1.73 units of profit from day 1 into day 2's 2-leg parlay, which was plus 138 odds. And you combine the profits from day 2 with the initial investment of that day 1 profit, and we are up 4.12 units profit through 2 days of our March ladder challenge. So for day 3, I have another 3-leg parlay to go ahead and share with you guys. It's plus 190 currently at the time of recording over on DraftKings. So we're reinvesting 4.12 units on today's parlay. That's plus 190 odds. We're working with some big money here potentially, folks. So really excited to go ahead and share that parlay with you guys. But first, a fair warning here. I'm going to talk about, obviously, the reason why I haven't been doing videos the last couple days. If you guys are literally just here for the picks, I don't blame you guys. You're not here for personal life stuff. You're not here to hear my sappiness or whatever. If you're here just for the picks, fast forward like 2 minutes and we'll get to that parlay. But you guys saw my post on Tuesday. The reason why I haven't made videos in a couple days, my grandmother, my yaya, passed away Tuesday morning after a 7-year battle with cancer. You know, I don't like to talk too much about personal life stuff on YouTube, but obviously I've talked about my yaya before here on YouTube. She's had surgeries, procedures over the last year. You guys have been great. I love this community. I want to say thank you to each and every single one of you guys who have been giving your condolences, your prayers, not even just this time, but the previous times too, where I've mentioned her in my videos where she's had a surgery or she's been in the hospital. It's been a long battle. She was very sick. If you guys saw, I did actually get the H2H video out on Tuesday with Ev. We had actually literally just finished recording, and then like 10 minutes later, I got the news that she had passed. So that's why I did technically give some picks on Tuesday, which actually did pretty good, 3-1 in that video, beat Ev's ass. But yeah, it's been a rough couple days. I almost did make a video today, honestly. I wasn't going to, but was looking for a little bit of normalcy, looking to kind of get something to take my mind off everything. So making videos is, I don't just do it for the views or for whatever. I do it for the passion. I love doing videos. I love doing this stuff. So decided to come back today, even though it probably was a little bit early for me because I needed to get my mind off everything and kind of dive back into the work. So yeah, but I wanted to say thank you. Thank you to everybody for your thoughts, your condolences, your prayers. It's all very much appreciated. I was definitely moved to see all the response in that post on Tuesday. Like I said, you guys are awesome. I love this community that we built here at Guy Boston Sports. You guys are great. My energy might be a little low for the next couple days. Gonna try and do my best to proceed as normal, but yeah, it's been rough. It's been a rough couple days for sure. She's by far the strongest woman I ever knew. To go through what she went through all the years battling that cancer was not many could do it. Not many could do it the way that she did with all the chemo and all the different surgeries, and she kept her faith in God through it all, which I think was one of the big things that carried her. So yeah, I don't want to spend too much time here. I know you guys are not here for this. You're here for picks. So like I said, if you guys did fast forward, it's fine. Not mad about it. But yeah, I just wanted to give my thanks to everybody for all the wishes, the well wishes, the prayers, and everything. And apologize. I know people say don't apologize, but for some, I've become part of your daily routine with the picks videos. So obviously, when I disappear for a couple of days, I do apologize. So yeah, so thank you very much, guys. To my yaya, I love you. Rest in peace. May her memory be eternal. And let's go ahead and get on with the picks. All right, guys, jumping into the outlier screen. Our first leg of our 3-leg parlay, and yes, we are using DraftKings for today's parlay. We are targeting the Warriors-Nets game, 7:30 p.m. tip-off. We're going Cam Thomas of the Brooklyn Nets over 1.5 3-pointers made. Now, this is an alternate line. All three of these player props in today's parlay are alternate lines. So the data is going to be pretty solid across the board. This one is minus 215 over on DraftKings. It is available on some other sportsbooks. So if you want to tail along and you don't have DraftKings, some of these player props are available on multiple sportsbooks. But again, I am using DraftKings primarily. So Cam Thomas over 1.5 3-pointers made. Now, the data is a little misleading because he's been out for a long time. You see here that he played January 2nd and then didn't play again for almost 2 months. He's only played 2 games since returning from that hamstring injury. Now, the first game versus Portland, he didn't cash it, but the last time out versus San Antonio, just a couple of days ago, he did cash the over with 4 3-pointers made. But we will go ahead and look at the overall data. He's cashed it at an 80% hit rate over his last 10, which of course dates all the way back to November. He's missed a lot of time this year. Actually, look at his games played so far in 2024. He's only played 25, I should say. He's only played 21 games this year. He's cashing this over, though, at a 71% hit rate in those 21 games, averaging 2.76 3-pointers made per game this season. Now, the reason why I love this player prop is Cam Thomas is a one-of-a-kind player. He just chucks. I mean, he is the definition of a chucker. He just throws up shots like it's nobody's business. If you guys don't believe me, the last time he played, again, just 2 days ago versus San Antonio, he did cash the over. He hit 4 threes in that game. But in order to get that, he took 13 3-point attempts in that game. Over the last 10 games, he's averaging 8.4 3-point attempts per game. The sheer volume of shots that he takes is just absolutely ridiculous. Look at the last 10 games looking for Cam Thomas, again, averaging 7.8 3-point attempts per game. He doesn't shoot, 37% isn't terrible, but the sheer volume of shots that he takes is crazy. Even the overall season view, again, 7.7 3-point attempts per game. He's averaging 2.8 3-pointers made per game this year. A lot of volume. Again, 13 shots the last time out. This Brooklyn team is not very good. They're obviously, bottom half of the league in terms of the standings. So they got nothing to lose. So Cam Thomas just kind of has the green light to take as many shots as he'd really like. From a head-to-head standpoint, the data also not too bad. He's cashed the over in 2 of his last 3 meetings against the Golden State Warriors. That is a 67% hit rate, averaging 2.67 3-pointers made per game over their last 3 meetings. He played Golden State 1 time this year back on November 25th, and he did cash the over with 3 3-pointers made in that game. He attempted 7 threes, shot 3 for 7. So again, the volume's there. He did play only 23 minutes in that game too, so that's something to note. He obviously just his 3rd game back tonight from injury. He might be in a bit of a minute restriction. He did play 25 minutes against San Antonio a couple days ago. He'll probably play somewhere in the ballpark of 24, 25, 26 minutes. But again, we already saw earlier this year when he played Golden State, he only played 23 minutes in that game and still cashed the over with an extra 3 to spare. So pretty good numbers across the board here for Cam Thomas. Now, overall, the Warriors are a pretty good defensive team in terms of 3-pointers allowed to opposing teams. However, versus the shooting guard position, which is where obviously Cam Thomas plays, they are 18th this year in 3-pointers allowed, giving up 4.2 3-pointers made per game to opposing shooting guards. So it seems like a pretty good matchup here for Cam Thomas. I'm not too concerned about the minutes restriction. Again, he doesn't need to play too many minutes in order to cash this over. He played 25 minutes versus San Antonio and got up 13 3-point shots in 25 minutes. So the volume's there. He has the green light to take as many shots as he wants. That's obviously really good for us. We don't even need him to shoot that well. As long as he takes a high volume and hits 2 3-pointers, we're good to go. 3-point player props are always risky. They're kind of the NBA equivalent to like touchdown player props in the NFL, where it's like you can have good data. A lot of luck goes into these player props, but I do like the numbers here for Cam Thomas and the sheer volume of shots that he takes. So this is the first leg in our 3-leg parlay. By the way, guys, if you are watching today's video, please comment Yaya, Y-I-A, Y-I-A, just to honor her memory. I am wearing black. I'll be wearing black for the next week. In Greek customs, it's a little bit different. Some people do 40 days. Some people do a year. So I won't be doing a year. I'm doing 1 week where I'm wearing all black. So I did break out the San Antonio Spurs Stephen Castle jersey. If you guys didn't know, I am a bit of a jersey collector. I am going to try to start wearing jerseys more often on the videos because I have like 95 jerseys in my collection between all the sports. So I don't know why I haven't been showing them off over the past 2 years I've been doing YouTube. But yeah, so this is actually one of my newer ones. Stephen Castle. I'm from Connecticut, so I'm a big UConn fan. Stephen Castle Spurs jersey here. I wore on Tuesday on HGH. Another new jersey I just gotten, a Domantas Sabonis Kings jersey. But yeah, repping black for Yaya here to honor her. So please comment Yaya down below if you are still watching today's video at this point. Again, thank you very much, guys, for all the thoughts, prayers, and support throughout all this tough time. All right, guys, our second leg of our 3-leg parlay, we are sticking with another 3-point player prop. what can I say, guys? It's been a rough couple days. We have Pacers Hawks 7:30 p.m. tip-off. We got Miles Turner of the Indiana Pacers over 1.5 3-pointers made. A heavy alternate line minus 265 over on DraftKings. Again, available on FanDuel and Caesars, so you can tag along. Even if you don't have DraftKings, you can use FanDuel for this parlay for some of the legs. Again, being an alternate line, of course, the data is going to be solid on this player prop. He's cashed the over in 9 of his last 10 games, including 7 in a row. He's averaging 2.9 3-pointers made per game over his last 10 games. Narrowed down to the last 5 games, 100% hit rate, averaging 3.6 3-pointers made per game over his last 5 games. But if that very recent data doesn't do it for you, we can go ahead and stretch the data out, and it looks even better. Look at the last 20 games for Miles Turner. 85% hit rate over his last 20 games, 17 of his last 20, averaging 2.75 3-pointers made per game over his last 20. Stretch the data out even further to the entire season view. Not as impressive, but still pretty impressive considering it's the entire season view. A 66% hit rate this year for Miles Turner, averaging 2.25 3-pointers made per game this year. So again, all we need him to do is get his average, actually a little bit below his average, but his average 3-pointers made per game, and we're good to go here. And kind of similar to Cam Thomas, the volume is the thing that's very interesting here. Now, obviously, he plays a healthy amount of minutes, 32 minutes per game, versus Houston the other night, just 26 minutes played, and yet he still cashed that over. But he's taking a very high volume of threes. He's averaging 7.8 3-pointers attempted per game over his last 5 games, and he's shooting about 46% from 3. So a high volume of 3-pointers attempted, a lot of 3-pointers made. Really good matchup there. From a head-to-head standpoint, he's cashed the over in 3 of his last 5 meetings with the Atlanta Hawks. That is a 60% hit rate, averaging 1.4 3-pointers made per game across their last 5 meetings. They've only played once so far this year, just about a month and a half ago, a little bit less than a month and a half ago. Back on February 1st, he had 2 3-pointers made in that game, so he did cash the over the one time he played Atlanta this year. Looking at the matchup stats, though, Atlanta overall this year 20th in the NBA in terms of 3-pointers allowed to the center position, giving up 1.1 3-pointers made per game. However, narrow that down to the last 15 games, a little more recent, and you would see that they are actually bottom 5 in the NBA now in 3-pointers allowed to the center position. So they've gotten even worse as the season's gone along in terms of 3-pointers allowed to the center position. So pretty good matchup here for Miles Turner. Again, really high volume. Putting 2 3-point player props in this parlay definitely adds a little extra layer of risk. But I'm telling you guys, it's a really, really solid player prop here. High volume of threes, good matchup, good overall data. Again, 17 of his last 20 games, he's gone on and cashed the over. And one last thing I want to show you guys. So Benedict Mathurin is a game time decision, as is Tyrese Halliburton. We don't have too much information here to go off of, but Mathurin did miss his last game versus Houston. We'll go ahead and put a filter here to show games without Benedict Mathurin this season for Miles Turner. And you will see overall this year, a 100% hit rate. He's played 5 games this season without Mathurin. Mathurin has missed the last 3 games for Indiana with a wrist injury. He's cashed the over in all 5 games, and he's averaging 4.6 3-pointers made per game this year when Benedict Mathurin does not play, averaging 8.2 3-point attempts per game when Mathurin does not play. So when Mathurin's out, a little more offensive responsibility falls on Miles Turner's shoulders. With Halliburton also out, it could be a really good spot to tail Miles Turner. And the last time he played Atlanta without Mathurin last year, back on April 14th, he had 3 3-pointers made in that game. So overall, looks like a pretty good matchup for Miles Turner here for the second leg of our 3-leg parlay. And last but not least, guys, our third leg of our 3-leg parlay, we're targeting Knicks-Lakers, 10 p.m. tip-off. We're going Josh Hart of the New York Knicks over 19.5 points plus rebounds. We're getting that for minus 230 over on DraftKings. This is a DraftKings exclusive. And again, being an alternate line, the data is pretty solid. He's cashed the over in 8 of his last 10 games, averaging 24.4 points plus rebounds per game over his last 10. Stretch the data out to the last 20, 80% hit rate, 16 of his last 20, averaging 24.65 points plus rebounds per game over his last 20 games. Stretch the data out even further to the entire season view, and a 76% hit rate on this over for Josh Hart. He's cashed the over in 44 out of 58 games so far this year for the Knicks, so some pretty good numbers, averaging 24.02 points plus rebounds per game overall this year. So the numbers are pretty consistent all throughout the entire year. From a head-to-head perspective, he's cashed the over at each of his last 2 meetings against the Lakers, including the one time they played back on February 1st, a little over a month ago. He had a really good performance, 26 points and 13 rebounds against the Lakers. Look, the one thing we know about Knicks players, he's going to play a ton of minutes. Last time they played 38 minutes. Look at the last 10 games for Josh Hart, his minutes played. He's averaging, again, 38.4 minutes per game. You know he's going to play a healthy amount of minutes in that Tom Thibodeau system. The last time they played, he had 18 rebound chances, took 16 shots, shot 11 for 16 from the floor. Again, we don't need him to do that much. That was a really solid performance, but even if he does a little bit less, you can cut 10 off of that number, and he still cashes the over pretty convincingly. The Lakers overall this year, actually a pretty decent defensive team. They've gotten a lot better under J.J. Redick. Versus shooting guards, they are 21st in points, 11th in rebounds. Versus small forwards, 13th in points, 10th in rebounds. Again, Josh Hart plays between the 2 and the 3 position for the New York Knicks. Him and Mikal Bridges kind of switch and swap between those 2 spots. But again, he already did it once against the Lakers this year in big fashion. Look at the injury report for the Knicks tonight. Anunoby could be out. A couple of big injuries there for the Knicks. The Lakers, too. A lot of game time decisions. Rui Hachimura is out, just declared about a minute ago. So the Lakers are going to be a little short-handed. Could be a good matchup spot here for Josh Hart. That's the 3rd leg of our 3-leg parlay. So again, quick little recap here. Cam Thomas over 1.5 3-pointers made. Josh Hart over 19.5 points plus rebounds. And Miles Turner over 1.5 3-pointers made. Parlay all 3 together over on DraftKings. It's now plus 185. It was plus 190. Now it's dropped to plus 185. The Cam Thomas and the Miles Turner player props are both available on FanDuel. You can parlay those 2 together for a plus 105 parlay over on FanDuel. So again, if you do want a tail, you can go ahead and do that. But the overall 3-leg parlay is only available over on DraftKings. And again, plus 185 odds. Pretty good value. All right, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much for watching. One more time, guys, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. We'll be back tomorrow with Freaky Friday. If the parlay hits today, we'll do 2 parlays tomorrow, our Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay, and then day 4 parlay for our ladder challenge. So potentially a lot of parlay stuff coming tomorrow's video. But again, guys, thank you very much for all your support through the last couple of days. It really does mean the world to me. We should be back to our regularly scheduled programming here. Fair warning, in April, I will be taking about a week off. I don't know exactly when the date's going to be. I'll let you guys know, obviously, as we get closer. I know it's NBA playoff time. I do apologize for that, but and we will be going to Greece for about a week to go pay my respects at the memorial service for my grandmother. So that will be coming in about a month's time, a little bit over a month. So that's a ways away, but I thought I'd just mention it now. Obviously, MLB will be in full swing by then, too. But yeah, so guys, thank you very much for everything, for the last couple of days, for the support all year round, all the time. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, hope you're all winners. Let's go ahead and make some money.